it, it's probably going to have to kind of catch on that I'm the sex, drugs, and rock and roll guy. It's kind of odd that it works out that way. I once, I think, on my papers for Professor Kamuff, talking about making an ass out of myself. Oh, I did things like I'd quote lyrics from the band Rush. I think I quoted all kinds of, I brought in all kinds of stuff for papers that were just supposed to, you know, you can bring in Roland Barthes and Derek Attridge and Derrida. Hey, Professor Kamuff, I'm not gonna complain. I have no complaint. Even though I guess I just complained. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Well, it's kind of a provocative sounding way to talk. But the themes that we're most concerned about in the United States of America have a lot to do with those things. The rock and roll part, I have a hard time. The sex and the drugs part, those are like very well defined. What even we're talking about, but the rock and roll part is very very undefined, because it doesn't just mean music. I think it probably means something that music is a really good example of, but who knows? Who knows? I mean, we're kind of godless culture. We're kind of godless culture, and we don't have any sense of legitimacy. What? You're gonna be a cynic and take everything with a grain of salt. By what standard? So you go in a regress of skepticism back, be skeptic of the skeptic of the skeptic. You will find yourself trapped like David Hume, and then you will find Immanuel Kant coming to dig you out of the quagmire that you worked yourself into. That's the way it goes. No argument extremely in any one direction can just continue. You'll hit a brick wall one way or another. You'll hit opposition, whether you'll tie yourself into knots, or you'll meet something out there in the world that'll put a stop to you. I like to try to talk about the people that I'm in contact with, that I'm certain that I get some feedbacks here. There is a business relationship, I'll say, and there's one individual who I believe is in the entertainment industry. And so I For some reason, I brought their attention. I think I saw that they had clicked a like button, I think, on my Instagram, and I knew who it was. So I sent a particular one that some other of my brilliant videos, and I said, this one is particularly brutal, something like that. And they said, they responded back. They said, well, they all are brutal. That is, they all are brutal. And so I guess I was flattered. I guess if I'm supposed to be flattered, then, well, whether or not I'm supposed to be flattered, I am. So brutal. Okay, well, what's brutal? Sarah Sherman, I was talking about that. I can't go on enough about, first of all, I believe that Sarah Sherman, whether or not she knows it, she kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off of people like me, because what she's doing is like way crazier than anything I'm doing. Right? I mean, look, this, because Lawrence Welk was brought up to me the other day. Lawrence Welk was brought up to me. This show is the Lawrence Welk show compared to Sarah Sherman Squirm. I mean, no more, no less. Lawrence Welk. I mean, look, a good friend, different friend, was telling me the other day. At this point, I think, because this individual knows me so well, I think they almost sometimes like dare me to get into things. And the other day, like, they pretty much straight up dared me to get into the Lawrence Welk show. And so I was like, yeah, my mom, I've heard a lot about this from my mom and stuff. And so I checked it out. I tried. And some of the hardest experiences I remember ever having were at something called Frontier Days in Cheyenne, Wyoming. This is when I was maybe early adolescence, 13, 14, something. And see, my mom likes cowboys and the country. She's from Wyoming, and so we went to Frontier Days, and we heard Randy Travis in concert live, and the Lawrence Welk show episodes that I watched were like 100 times more shitty than Randy Travis at Frontier Days. I mean, it's like, it's so hardcore shitty that it's kind of interesting, sort of in the kind of like Elizabeth Berkley sense, or like the Leonard Part 6 sense. or like Zardos, Zardos. Yeah, terrible movies are really puzzling exactly what makes them so terrible, and how it is that something goes from terrible to good just by virtue of some almost iridescent sort of stylistic. It's not stylistic. I mean, it's historic and it's genealogical. Depending on the time and place that a particular thing gets taken up, Elizabeth Berkley's movie turns into something completely different depending on the age that it's in. I mean, Paul Verhoeven. So anyway, I don't know. I got the comment that, well, I sent. So did I already say this? Yes. So I said, oh yeah, this one's particularly brutal, and I got the response back. Well, they all are. So I don't know what exactly that signifies, because, well, if somebody's out there clicking one after the other of my brilliant installments here, I don't know exactly how brutal they're coming across. I mean, look, by contrast, so how long did it take me to get through Sarah Sherman Squirm? At least 3 installments. Like, I got up to, about 10 minutes in, 15 minutes in, and it's like, whoa. It's just a total onslaught. That's brutal. That stuff's brutal. Now, what am I doing? Bitching and moaning about how thought leaders or, philosophers who actually have power in society ain't doing jack diddly squat. And it's like Sarah Sherman said, sir, spin around, and then, sit the fuck down, you piece of shit. Where are you from? The toilet? Something like that. It's brilliant. Yeah. Well, that's like the United States, right? So, look, y'all, it's a free-for-all of ideas. Let her rip, Jesus Christ. Wake the fuck up. It is a free-for-all. It's conceptual anarchy out there. We have de jure conceptual order, yes. But de facto conceptual anarchy. We can believe. If we like believing in dreams, that the structure exists. So that somebody's in control or the system will hold, or no. At this point, if you're not being like really fucking aggressive with ideas, or if you're not sorting yourself into like, who's with me, who's against, right? I mean, any of y'all read a history book? Holy fuck.